So our next panel is called The Waiting Time, where we will be speaking of experiences of 4 women during the asylum process in Germany, the constant risk of deportation, and the power of resistance and self-organization. It is my pleasure to invite the speakers, Ivanka Sinani, Jacqueline Maffo, Jerez, Doris Messa, as well as the moderator, Asma-Esmeralda Abd'Allah-Álvarez Ramírez. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the invitation to take part in this conference. My name is made up of an Arabic and a Spanish part, and often I have to explain that I was born in Havana in Cuba, of course, and therefore I speak Spanish as my mother tongue. I converted to Islam. I'm a black Muslim in 1970. So this is also where I got my surname, and I kept that surname. I no longer practice the Islam religion as I did at the beginning. Nevertheless, I still consider myself a Muslima. Just for your information, I came to Germany with my parents. In 1956, I came to Germany. I was 6 at that time. I first spent a year in Barcelona in Spain before coming to Germany. I was in a boarding school of a convent nuns, and my parents left me in their care. I then came to Frankfurt. This was the first city, the first town, the first airport that I got to know when I was 6 years old. And today I am 66 years old, and I've been in Germany for the last 60 years. Of course, I visited schools here in Germany. I grew up in Hamburg, and I also raised my 2 children in Hamburg. I then studied languages. I went to London with my first husband. And I continued educating myself. Despite my A-levels, I was able to study in England, and I now hold an MA in linguistics and worked as a translator. I also worked in various positions such as marketing or accounting. So I look back at a professional life because now I have retired. As I said, I worked as a translator. I was a freelance translator at the airport in Frankfurt. And for the very first time, I came in touch with people. People who did not enter that easily to Germany, because regularly I was booked by the federal police. I always was very involved. I was young in the 1960s, so I was politicized. I've always been politicized. I was active in women's movements and other political movements. Now my work centers around the work with black people, the struggle against racism, and the work with and for women. So this is my story, really, because I still work on these topics. I will fly back. I will go back to Havana next week, Saturday, to look after my mother and to live with her. I don't know how long I will be in Havana and how long my mother will still be alive, but I will leave Germany. I'm very touched to be able to talk about that because I made it. I had a lot of patience in this country, a country that where I didn't want to really be because my parents brought me here. I don't even have a German passport. Nevertheless, I was very much shaped by this country. Nevertheless, my emotions and feelings are Latin American and Caribbean, and therefore I'm very delighted to go back, and that has been always my objective. And this is just something I really wanted to share with you all. Now this panel is about the waiting time. The waiting time can be a very dramatic, a very exhaustive, and very exhaustive time, really. We start our narrative stories with Doris Messa. Doris Messa was almost deported by the police twice. However, she managed to prevent the deportation. So my first question is to Doris. Doris, tell us a little bit about your odyssey, about your story really, and your experience with the German police here in Germany.
My name is Doris Messa. I'm in this country for almost 6 years. I was having deportation in 2016 last year. 2 times. I first have the first deportation in June last year, 2016. When I was in my room, I was sleeping because I stay in the Rhine. I live in Ennisdorf. I stay in the Rhine. One morning when I was still sleeping in my bed, then I want to hear my door was make cock. I get up, I went to go and open my door. When I went to open my door, I saw police in my door. There were 6 police, 1 woman and 5 men. They come in the morning and told me that now I have to deport it. I have to go to Cameroon now. Then they asked me about my hospice. They told me that I should give my hospice to them. I give my hospice to them. Then they told me that now they are going to pack everything in my room. I was having my dresses with my boxes. They were hanging in my, they will pack them in my wardrobe. Then they told me that now they're supposed to carry all my things because now my times is over in this country, so I have to deport in my country. Then they took me, I go to the airport at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was still in the sleeping dress. In that morning, they took me, I went to the airport. They put me, because they bring their car. When they come in the morning, they carry me, they put in that car. When I reached the airport in the morning, around past, I was thinking something, I think it was 3:30, I think that 3:30 or 3 something. When I enter, When they took me where that they are going to, they are weighing car code to make you to go up. When I reach where that they say I should sit down, I sit down. They say I should remove my bag because I was having a small bag in my bag. They say I should put my bag in the table. So I put my bag in the table. Then they want to wear my things. And then after, I removed my dresses. I was empty. I say that I will not go to Cameroon because I've already made in this country for almost 6 years. Me too, I was coming in this country. I have a problem in my country. If I go now in my country, how am I going to do? I don't have a mother. I don't have a father. So I won't go back to Cameroon. Then after I removed my dresses, I was still in that place, and I was crying. The police come and take me. I say, pick those dresses and put. I say, no, I'm not going to pick them because I'm not going to Cameroon. I'm not going somewhere.
Can I ask you a question, please?
Yeah, you can ask me. You're able to ask me, please.
You said you removed your dress.
Yeah, I was.
That means you were naked.
Yeah, I removed my dress from the first time. The first deportation, I removed my dress. I was empty. I didn't wear anything.
You had no clothes on, and that is your resistance.
Yeah, that was the first deportation.
Mm-hmm. And that's how you were fighting them.
Yes, because deportation is something very hardly. You don't imagine that 6 police will come and hold a small woman like me. It was not easy for me. It was not easy, but I was trying to defend myself. And when I remove my dresses, then they carry me, they go to the room in the airport. When they go to the room in the airport, they go and call the big police in the airport. The big police come and told me to wear my dress. I said, no, I'm not going to wear these dresses. Then after that, they still carry me in the car. The same police that they bring me, they still carry me back. They go and leave me in the Rhine. When they go and leave me where that I'm staying, then I stay for a long time. Again, I think something was almost 1 month. I think that something is already passed. I was thinking that maybe they cannot come again.
Did you get any letters?
I didn't find any letters. I didn't get any letters. So I was having a lot too in my head to do, a lot of stress too. Then in the morning again, around 3 o'clock, they still come. The second deportation was, I think was September 7, I think something like that, yeah. Maybe I think it was September 7. They want to come again now. There's still 6 police and 1 woman there. When they want to come now, they bring this thing. Handcuff. And they come. They knock my door open. I want to open the door. I still see the same police. When they come now, they say, okay, today is over. You're not going to come back because your time has passed in this country. They come now, they tie me. They tie my legs, they tie me here, they tie me everywhere with 6 police. Everybody was outside in the Rhine. Then just one person who cried, they should say that they should leave me alone. I was crying, I was suffering with this thing in my hand. Then
this person was a refugee?
Yes, it's a refugee. It's from Cameroon. It's a boy from Cameroon. She's totally the one that will cry that they should leave me alone. I was crying. They will not imagine that they tie you here. You tie you. How can you survive? So it was not easy for me. But as they tied me, they enter. They carry my boxes. I was having two bags of boxes. My document inside, my money inside. They carry my thing. Police. They carry my thing. They still go and put in the car. And then they hold me, they take me, 6 police, they carry me. They just go and aim me in the car like they are pushing somebody that have done something bad or somebody has killed somebody. It was not really good for me. I go through a lot of challenges with this police.
They treated you like
they treated me
animal.
A lot. It was
like
not,
a criminal.
Yeah, that a criminal that have done something bad or have done something or have killed somebody. As the way they put me in the car, they are still with me. Police will hold me here, another one will hold me here, another one will hold me here, another one will hold me in my legs in the car. I was going, the other woman sent her hand in here, and she wanted to press my neck. The way they pressed my neck, yeah, she pressed my neck. I bite her hand. The way I bite her hand, They was talking in the language because I can't understand the language so much. They was talking something and they was laughing at me. I was hearing what that I was doing. I was always sharing tears. They bring me in the airport. As they bring me in the airport, they remove me, police, they remove me in this thing with those chains that they chain me. They remove me, they carry me. I wanted to defend myself, and then I fall down. The way that I fall down, my dresses was dirty because I was in the sleeping dress. It was not easy for me. Then they still come now, they went and put me in the other room that they went the first time they put me there. I was down.
At the airport, in the cell of the airport?
Yeah, in the same room that when I come, I make problem, they still put me there.
Police cell of the airport?
Yeah, the police from the airport. They are not nice. The way they can treat somebody is not good. As they bring me again, they put me there. Another one was there, he's holding my legs, a very fat man. Another man is here holding my hand. Another one here is holding, the doctor is there. They say that I have to travel with the doctor. When I was in the down, I was always crying. I was sharing tears. They take this thing from the hospital and put it in my mouth and cover my mouth.
Mask.
Yeah, mask. That I should not cry because they don't want that I should speak somebody to hear. I was only trying to defend myself. The doctor go and bring medicine and put it in my mouth. The way she put the medicine in my mouth, I remove it, I throw it.
They force it?
Yeah, I force it. It still go to the second time, she still take another medicine. She put it, I force it, I throw it away. It was not really easy for me. It was very, very hard. I was down.
You spit it out?
Yeah, I spit it out. I'm sorry because my English is not so good. I'm sorry.
Yes, I'm here.
Then, okay. The time that I was down, I was only crying. The time that they know that the plane wanted to go, then is the time that they go inside my blocks because the other dress that I was putting, it was already wet. It was blood there because I was already bleeding the way that they might treat me. I was already bleeding. Then after they went to my box, the police from the airport, they went to my box, they put a dress, they remove a dress in my box. Then they come and put it in my body to cover the other one that is very dirty. Then they take a shoe.
On top of the
the one that is dirty, they put it on top.
Yes.
Then they take shoe. They go in the airport, they take some dirty shoe that is there. They come and put it in my legs. I remove it. I say, no, I cannot put this shoe. It's not for me. I cannot put it. I was trying to struggle. I struggle. I remove the shoe. I throw it away. Then they said the time that the plane started to go, they still carry me up. 6 police, they carry me like with chain in my this thing. They went to the plane, they put me, I was
They carried you up the stairs?
They carried me, in the
6 men?
Yes, I was trying to defend myself because I wanted to fall down so that I can die, so that something can happen to me. So
you were fighting them?
Yes, me too, I was fighting them because it was not easy for me.
Yes.
Then they bring me up. Then they put me right in the back in the plane. I was right in the back with the doctor, with the police, because they say I have to travel with the doctor because I'm making a lot of noise.
Yes.
Then the way that they bring me now. Then I think was 2 women in the plane.
Stewardesses?
2 women. I don't really know because I was very stressful. I didn't know what to do. I was confused because concerning this condition, you have to confuse because it was not easy something. The way I was there, I was crying. These 2 women, they just meet me and told me that no, the way that they see this lady is doing, she's not going to travel. She's not going to go somewhere. Then the
stewardesses said, you're not fit to travel.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't take you.
Yeah, they say they will not take me because
that was your luck.
Yeah, they will say they will not take me. Then after the woman said they will not take me, then they still carry me. Those 6 police, they still carry me in their hand. They bring me to that same room, the same room.
They took you back down the stairs?
Yeah, back the stairs.
Of the plane, and then put you back into the cell?
And they bring me down and go and put me in the room that I was there. They was maltreating me like they are maltreating somebody that has killed somebody that's done something bad. They still bring me in there.
They hurt you?
Yeah. I was having blood in my hand. Then when they bring me down, the way that they bring me down, they started to tell me, excuse, I'm sorry for what I've done to you people. I say, no, I didn't do something bad from you people, but the way that you people might treat me, I cannot understand.
Do you think they really felt sorry?
They was just making, they can, which story they was doing. They just wanted to make that I should calm down. But I didn't care. I didn't look what they was doing. Then when I go down, then they look my hand because I was wound in my hand here. Then I know
You still have scars here?
Yes. Another police said they should take me to the hospital. The doctor say no. The doctor that was trying to put medicine in my mouth, she said no. They can tie my hand. It's not too bad. Then they bandaged my hand. As they bandaged my hand now, then I was having a small bag. They go and bring that small bag for me. My small bag they go and bring from me. Yeah, the small bag. I was having my small bag there with my Bible inside. Then they go and bring the small bag. Then I told them that where's my 2 boxes of dresses? You both should go and get my 2 boxes of dresses and bring it to me. They give me paper that I should go inside there and get my 2 boxes of dresses. I say, no, it doesn't make no sense because you people bring this small bag for me, and then how can you first say that I should go inside there and go and take another bag? I say, I wouldn't go there. You people should bring my bag to me. I will stand here and wait my bag.
You refused?
Yeah, I refused to go there. I stand there until, I think something like 20 minutes. And I was crying. I was crying the way that I go through a lot of stress. I go through a lot of problem with dirty dresses, with empty shoe. I didn't have a shoe. I didn't have nothing. I was really crying.
You were in the airport by yourself?
Yeah, myself. The way that they received me that I should go.
They released you
received me that I should go. Yeah, that I should go.
So, but you didn't have no money on you?
No, I didn't have nothing. Nothing I didn't have in my bag. Then when I was working in the airport, I saw a woman in the airport. The woman, I was really crying. The woman said the way that I was crying. Then I told her that, please, I have a problem this morning, and the problem is very, very serious. It's not easy for me. Please, I need a fur cut. The woman who washed me good, she looked me very good. She really see that it's true that I have problem. Then the woman removed 2 fur cuts and give to me.
She bought them for you?
She bought it for me. As I take the fur cut, I take it, I take the train. I reach where that I go to the Rime, the same place that I'm staying, I still go back to the Rime.
You went back to the
I went to the Rime back.
You didn't have no other where to go?
No, I didn't have no way to go. I don't have no way to go. As I went back to the Rime, then my sister Jennifer, this association, then they call her that I come
Women
back
in
again.
Exile.
No, it's not Women in Exile. Women International. International women.
Okay.
Then they come in the Rime to come and look what happened to me.
Yes.
The first deportation, they was with me. Then the second deportation, they was me. All this time that I was having all this problem, I was always with them. They are helping me. They are doing me all this. My sisters, deportation is not something that is good. I fight them. If not because I didn't fight them, I can't do something because it was very, very hard. Deportation is something that you can go to deportation, then you can die. Nobody will know where you go. Even none of your family will go. It's something that is hard. So by now, somebody went to deportation and come back. Just say thank God because it was not easy. Deportation is a very bad thing. Yeah. It's a very, very bad thing.
You survived.
Yeah, I tried to survive and
what
I
is
come back.
Yes.
So I thank you because so it was not really easy. I will try to encourage all the women because I didn't have nothing. It's only this association has bought me dresses. There are some people, they are giving me dresses. There are some people, they are looking me for lawyer. They are doing all this to me. It's not easy for me. Yeah, they are really supporting me. It's not easy.
What is your
for me.
situation now? Are you still in danger?
I'm still there because the other time when you go to renew hospice, it's a lot of stress. They have to give you some time, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They have to give you some time, 1 month.
That's Duldum.
Yes, with
You're still with Duldum.
Yes, when I go there, I always fight with them because when I go there, I don't want them to see me because I don't need anything because the way that I go, the stress that I go through, it was not easy for me. So I just wanted to encourage all the women that let the women fight in our rights, because it's not easy. Thank you so much for this place. Can I say something again? So I have to encourage everyone that is here, because this association that I joined, I thank Denise, then I thank Nika, I thank all of them that they are supporting me in this association, Jennifer, because it's not easy for me, because they didn't have nothing. They don't even give me money again. They just giving me stress. The problem is too much, but I will not give up. The way they fight me, I will fight them. If I face again the third deportation, then I'm going to do something very bad, because something is in my heart that I'm only thinking every time to do something that is not good, because it's not easy. Look, for me, a small woman like this, how can they be maltreat me like this? How can they be climbing on top of me? The police, a fat man will climb, another fat police climb in my leg. I say, see the way there, you're very fat. You want to break my small legs? You know how I managed before I reached in this country? You know what I've gone through in my country before I reached here? I don't even have father, I don't even have mother. How can you people be giving me your mind to me like I've done something that is bad for you people? But I thank God that they fight me through me too. I try my best. It was not easy. It was not easy, because this deportation can happen to another woman like me. He can't do it, because it's very difficult. It's very, very difficult process.
We need better laws to protect women when situations like this happen. So I hope that International Women's Space carries on and to this work that it's doing and fighting for better laws for the women, so that
they are doing a good work. They are doing a good work, because I don't have nobody to talk with her. I'm only with them every time. They are comforting me. They are doing anything to me. Dress. They will buy me dress. They will do this for me. They are doing great work. I already thank them. I already thank them, because I don't know what to do to them.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yes, I just thanks.
Doris.
You're welcome.
So kann die Wartezeit ablaufen?
Is it possible for the waiting time to come to an end? The next speaker is Ivanka Sinani. Did I pronounce it right? You came in the 1990s to Germany. You left the former Yugoslavia because of war, and you can tell us your story. I came to Germany in 1995. I was 20, and came because of war and because of discrimination against Roma in Serbia, because I'm a Roma woman. And I stayed until 2003. I had 8 years of Duldung, suspension of deportation. You're always sitting on packed luggages, because sometimes they come at 4, 6 in the morning to deport you. They always talk about integration in Germany. But what is the government doing? They don't give us any kind of opportunity. During the time I was here, there was no integration course. There was nothing for us. And this is really my opinion. The government consider the whole process as an experimentation. There is no course. 2002, the new government of Serbia signed an agreement with the German government all the people who sought refuge in Germany couldn't come back to Serbia. Could you explain it? That all the refugees should go back to Serbia, and that was an agreement, a bilateral agreement. And then the deportation started. They brought all the Roma. We brought all the Roma together, and in April 2002 we organized a demonstration, and it lasted for 9 months. Which kind of demonstration is that? It was a demonstration for the right to stay of Roma. After 9 months, it stopped. So during 9 months, we had a kind of convoys. We went through different cities. We started in Hessen, Münster, Oberhausen, Hanover. We came as well to Berlin. Then we went to Düsseldorf. 3 months we were there. What is the name of the organization? It doesn't exist any longer. The president of this organization was deported to Serbia. He was also deported. Yes, almost everybody, 90% of the people were deported. And because of this demonstration, I received some notification. They came to August to our flat in order to deport us to Serbia, but we were very lucky we were not there. From this day on, we were illegally we were made illegal in Germany. The immigration office knew that we were still in Germany, but this convoy was registered but was completely illegal, and the police could not have access to the caravan, to this convoy, because so many of people participating in these caravans were made illegal. And we signed an agreement that we would actually go on our free will, so to say, to Serbia, because if you don't do that, you are excluded from being able to come back to Germany for 5 years. So I had to go to Serbia 2003, and I started youth projects in Serbia so that the young people knew and were conscientized, and to start to foster consciousness in the new young people, especially young women. I think that there are no Roma women here among the audience, and it's a very, very much a pity, because we, Roma women, we are even more discriminated against. We suffer discrimination from government, from our culture, from our tradition. And we have to forge more alliances and organize ourselves better. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us. I have a question to you. There are no good and bad refugees. This is what the government say. The people are coming because on economic grounds, and there are people who are coming because of war. Everybody has one individual story, and nobody would go to a country where you don't know the culture, we don't know the language. You're looking for something very completely different. Thank you very much. I would like to ask you a short question. Do you think that the laws have changed and have improved the situation? Nothing has changed, because the refugees are still given Dultung, so just a suspension of deportations. Maybe it's a little bit better, all these integration courses, but it doesn't apply to all refugees. You have some refugees who never get this opportunity. They are not allowed to go to integration courses. And there are so many cases of deportation to Afghanistan, to Tunisia, to Palestine, supposedly safe countries, because there's supposed to be no war there. Nothing has changed. It's only the packaging that has changed. Thank you. Very concluding, I think we can't hear too many of these.
We are now going to continue with Jacqueline Maffo.
Du bist aus Kamerun,
Ja,
und du bist Mitbegründerin von Women in Exile.
ja.
Und Women in Exile gibt es jetzt 15 Jahre. Und was war der Grund, warum ihr Women in Exile gegründet habt?
Ich werde leider in Französisch reden, weil mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut. Also,
I will speak.
sie hilft mir. Bon, la raison pour laquelle
Wir
okay, ça va, ça va.
Also der Grund, warum wir Women in Exile initiiert haben, wir Frauen waren
The reason why we initiated Women in Exile is that we women were in the Heim with the children, and we felt alone, and we fought for the children because we are the mothers of the children. And the children are in the Heim. They use the same toilets as the men. And imagine going to the toilet and having a man with a child in the women's toilet. So that was not easy for us. We wanted, we're fighting for the rights of the children so that they grow up under good circumstances, because these children did not choose to be in this asylum process. It's really unfortunate that children find themselves in such a situation. This is the reason why we founded this association, to support women and children. For example, back then, we did not have the right to leave the Heim and travel to Berlin, for example. We needed some kind of permission. In order to get that permission, to get an address where you wanted to go, this was not easy. We also didn't have the right to attend school, let alone work. The job center did not allow you to have a job. We were 5 women who initiated Women in Exile that supports children and women. The aim for that was to be able to leave the Heim with the children, to have apartments, to have positive circumstances and a positive surrounding for our children. We had a situation where a woman was absolutely naked at 4 o'clock in the morning, and there were a lot of men, but there was nobody to support that woman. This is also one of the reasons why we initiated this association, Women in Exile, so that women can feel more free, and that women also feel that they are being supported by other women. The women then started to self-organize, or you women started to self-organize. You also visited various Heime to inform women about your existence. Is that what you did? Yeah, exactly. Despite these permissions which we did not get, we still went. We even got penalties for violating the law. But we still left. We left to mobilize women so that women did not feel alone. We went to different Heime. We organized demonstrations, and we did everything possible. We only had these so-called credits that we were given, or vouchers rather. It meant that we got vouchers instead of cash. But luckily, these vouchers were eliminated. People are now getting cash, and that's a good thing. So one can say that you've changed things, yeah? Yes, we have changed things, but we continue our struggle. We don't want to give up. I always say to women, stand up and fight. Fight for your rights. Nobody will wage the fight for you. Look, what happened to our sister here can happen to anybody. We have achieved a lot already. But I'm very surprised that stories like we've heard from Doris are still happening today, and people are saying there are no deportations happening. I'm very surprised to hear things like that happening. Therefore, I say to you women, stand up, let's fight together. If we work together, we can really do a lot. Ja, vielen Dank. One more thing I want to say about women in exile. I live in Potsdam, and I'm not doing very well health-wise. And my story is a very long story. I'm not doing very well health-wise, but if Women in Exile needs me, I'm here. I initiated a small group in Potsdam where we are doing quite a lot with children. To enable mothers to be free, for them to express themselves, to defend themselves, and not just wait. Women, let's stand up and work together hand in hand.
Wir haben noch eine,
We have one more story of one woman left. Okay. Und
oh, okay. As far as Women in Exile story to tell. Because one of the colleagues said a story. No, I don't have to come there. Thank you. I have respect. Thank you. And it's like it was not really clear to me. I have my colleague here also. If anything, the protagonist in Betty is here, and all the respect. But anyway, but it's only me speaking concerning the colleague who talk about Women in Exile, the story, and so really I have something to talk about it, but I didn't really to criticize because there's some stuff you said which in my head I didn't really clear it. I mean, criticizing is okay, but like it's not really true. But again, for me to understand, but not really me, and probably me, just I don't know. What's your question? Okay, maybe better I hand to Betty.
No, I think it's okay. It's only that it was not very clear here. I think this, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay, we continue now, but because we have not finished. We have not finished with the last speaker. Genau. Mastura Harris? Ja. Is correct? Du bist noch nicht so lange in Deutsch.
Masturis, you have not been in Germany for that long, but you are a recognized refugee, of course, due to the war in Afghanistan. And of course, you are here in Germany due to the war in Afghanistan. Now, Afghanistan, as we hear in the news, we see that apparently there are again deportations to Afghanistan. And I kindly ask you to tell us your story and why the situation is dangerous, especially for women in Afghanistan. My name is Mastura, and I come from a country where there is war. I come from Afghanistan, and we have a war waging in that country. I come from a country that is ranged by war. I studied journalism in Afghanistan and worked for several years as a journalist in Afghanistan. In my work, I worked in particular with women, and therefore I was also threatened. I was forced to leave the country. I was forced to come to Europe. And here in Europe, I established contacts with women that are active in Afghanistan. I'm still in touch with these women. Now, with regard to my consciousness, I can really calm my consciousness because I feel like I am supporting my country and my people. Every day, I am trying to find out what is happening in Afghanistan. Every day we see some attacks, some explosions, or some suicide attacks. The population, due to unemployment, poverty, and the war, the population in Afghanistan, the people in Afghanistan are forced to leave their country and to come to Europe and seek asylum here. And once they get here, they experience a lot of discrimination. They have no orientation and also find themselves faced with a lot of problems. Many people know that our country is occupied, that there is a war. Afghanistan is a country As soon as you hear of the name Afghanistan, you know, of course, that there's a wave of refugees coming to Europe. And many people, many refugees have lost their lives, 7 to 8 members of one single family. I'm sorry that I can't say much more, but if you have questions, I'm very happy to answer your questions. Yeah, Masura, thank you very much. This is a very old war. There are young people who have known about the war in Afghanistan since they've been born. How long have you known about the war? I haven't been to Afghanistan for the last 7 years. My family, my friends are still in Afghanistan, of course. I still have my contacts there. And for the last 7 years, or 7 years ago, I left the country and came to Germany, and I now live in Germany. So the war in Afghanistan has been waging for the last 30 years. Now, this is more than 4 decades that we've been having war in Afghanistan. There's like 40 years of war in Afghanistan. Fundamentalists and the warlords are waging in my country, and the Taliban as well. Of course, the Islamist state is also operating there. So the names keep changing, but as we know, it's political interests that are behind this war. Everybody knows that. Well, not for everybody. We cannot imagine why such a poor country is so contested. Why are there a lot of resources? Why is the reason for warlords to operate in this country? What's the reason? Now, the warlords, one could say that the fundamentalists are dominating in our country, and we all know who is supporting them. This country was occupied by the US, and there are other countries that are dominating this country. And of course, political interests are being pursued in Afghanistan. The US are supporting terrorists and fundamentalists for them to reach their own interests. They are pursuing their own political interests. These are not any other different interests. And there are even armed people. There were fighters, the so-called Mujahid, and then after the Mujahid we had the Taliban, and now we have the Islamic State, and we've seen bombings happening and areas where you cannot even support yourself. The US is supporting the Taliban with weapons and are really almost defeating the population. We had over the last few months up to 7 suicide attempts. There are people who don't even have anything to eat, and these are innocent people who become victim of such acts. Now the root is, sorry, I can't finish my sentence. The roots are political. Or this conflict has has political roots. We have a fundamentalist state, the U.S. pursuing their own interests. They are supporting the fundamentalists so that they can achieve their own political and economic interests. They are competing with China. They are competing with Russia, and they want to have a military base in Afghanistan. Please speak more slowly. So there are no protected areas or safe zones in Afghanistan? This is my question. Do they exist? Is that, or they don't exist? Is that a lie? Are there any protected areas in Afghanistan? We can't say that these are protected areas. I heard reports from various provinces, and I am in touch 24 hours with friends. I follow the news every week, every day. We have suicide attempts and attacks, and many people are dying. I don't know any province or part in Kabul that can be termed safe. We even have attacks in mosques when people come for their prayers, and in mosques there are about 500 people coming at a time. And in Afghanistan we can't really say that it's just the women that are being oppressed or confronted with violence. There is also no security and safety for men either. Afghanistan is not a good place to live. On the other hand, we see that many people are faced to leave the country. Things are becoming more and more difficult in Afghanistan. For example, 2 airplanes have been sent back from Afghanistan because people are being deported. We are formulating a demand, and the demand is not to support the fundamentalist forces in Afghanistan. Our refugees are the ones who sold everything to come to a place like Germany. We really demand not to deport these people, because if they go back to Afghanistan, then they will just become some kind of drug addicts, or they will fight for the Islamist state. What are these people? Our people are forced to do things that they wouldn't want to do. They have no hope. I know so many young people who, due to their loss of orientation, want to commit suicide because they don't have any hope. They don't see any perspectives for them. So this is such a big psychological pressure on them. On the other hand, these young people see also that they do not have perspectives in Afghanistan, and therefore they want to kill themselves.
Master,
I would like to talk about the situation of women, because this is a particular aspect of the whole issue. For women, it's even worse. And I would like to know more about your work in Afghanistan with Malala Yousafzai. What is the situation of women in Afghanistan? Women as well as men have no good life in Afghanistan. And for the past 14 years, we see that the warlords are waging war, and we see that the majority of the victims are women. There are forced marriages. There are so many crimes. I cannot list them all up. There is so much violence, and nobody is made accountable for that. Nobody is supporting the women. And nobody is made accountable for all this. What about my relationship to Malala Yousafzai? I knew her. I was a freelance journalist. I had a lot of contacts to women who were threatened. And this is how I got to know Malala. And after we identified our common objectives, and when Malala is here in Europe, I visit her and we support each other. And wherever and whenever I can support her, I do that. we have the same line of thinking and we have common objectives. I would like to open up this debate for the general public. You can ask questions. Does everybody has a microphone for the audience? From the beginning. I've not said that the Afghan population has a problem with any kind of religion. Sometimes children are forced to go into marriage. Taliban have been brought to power by others, and the situation is that the situation in Kurdistan is completely different. You could have done something in Kurdistan. Behind all these forces, you have the guardians of the faith. The Afghan population doesn't know a lot. If they had an option, they could have freed themselves. This is what I think. Nobody is responsible, or we all are all responsible for the situation. I would like just to say that we have to discuss in a fair way. We should not actually accuse people who are here or nobody. I would not want this kind of discussion as a moderator, as a facilitator. As a facilitator, I will also express myself in Farsi. I would like to thank you. I would like to thank the organizers. I would like to thank the facilitator for what you just said. This is of major importance. We are maybe 200 women, and we have not learned that it is exactly the reproduction of what we fight against. We had looked at the program. It would have been better to talk about discrimination among us, or among the people who are called migrants. Actually, it's racism against the foreigners, though we are one community. But it's very important as women, as individuals who are experiences discrimination, to acknowledge it. There is something called intersectionality. That is, we have to take into account intersectionality when we talk about feminism. This is something that we have to talk about, what is happening among ourselves, so that we show respect to each other and we show respect to our experience and to our stories. This is exactly what we wish ourselves. Actually, I do. I will speak on my own behalf. We want this conference to have an impact not only today. Maybe we'll come out with the resolutions, with an agenda, so that we can carry on this work and pick up these kind of topics. Like you suggested, I would call upon the organizers to collect all these topics and to present them again, and maybe to work on it in various working groups, so that we can discuss these topics among ourselves, and when we speak outside this environment, we can have a major impact. Next question, please. With the microphone. I'm going to speak in German. The first question: what about psychological support? How is access to psychological counseling? What about access for people who live in Germany? Could you say a few words about it? Sometimes it's difficult when we talk about Afghanistan. Are there any recommendations that you could give us, as well as a journalist? Can you answer this question? I don't quite understand what you really are aiming at. There was no translation. It's all about psychological support for women in Germany that or maybe Afghans, and for women it's very important. There is no support. As far as Afghan refugees are concerned, I know someone who lives in a camp, and every day they are expecting to be deported, which means that it leads to psychological problems and illnesses. When somebody is not recognized as a refugee, when you have not such kind of recognitions, you don't have access to treatment. This person doesn't have these kind of rights to medical assistance, and you will be suffering. I hope I understood the question right. I don't know. I happen to know one medical doctor in Frankfurt, and she has been in Germany for a long time, and she has a site. So there is also, and she has this kind of, she provides this kind of medical services. There is also a counseling service for Afghan refugee area, in general for Farsi speakers, and especially for Afghans in Breslau. I wanted to say something. This is a question that was addressed to everybody. It concerned everybody, not somebody coming from a particular region. The second part of the question was addressed especially to Afghanistan. Somebody has raised their hands. Or maybe you want to come forward.
I just wanted to let you know that this was a misunderstanding. Jacqueline is one of the founders of Women in Exile, but what we couldn't hear her clearly because the translation there was not so good, and that's why it was not meant to be a question. It was just to let you know that we couldn't hear properly. And I think here is a conference where people can talk about themselves, talk about the organizations they have been to or are still in. And I think the spirit is how to see we all have gone through some problem or the other, and how maybe we can work together and see how to go forward. Thank you.
Ich wollte nur kurz sagen, wir hatten
To say, there was a counseling service for refugees, and at the beginnings people came, and at some point nobody came. There was also a collective kitchen which could be set up if women would come regularly together, so that what has started could be passed on. It's possible to reactivate it. We have also a counseling about holistic health, natural health. That was in Kreuzberg. Microphone, please. This is an information for the organizers. Thank you very much for organizing. Why always women and cooking?
For the organization today. I thank you for all of you people that will meet us today. Just want to say thanks.
Ja, also ich möchte genau,
I would like to come back to your story. I think that you were a damn fighter. You are all fighters, women fighters. And your action to just stand there naked, that is such a cool action. I don't know what I can say. Who take courage and do something like this? But you must be so desperate. And that was the right thing to do, to fight against two policemen too. What about now? Do you have a safe situation? What is your status?
Rhyme because the association is looking for me for a place to live in Berlin. Association is looking me for a place to stay in Berlin, so it's not easy for me. Anytime that I went to renew hospice, they have to give me 2 weeks, 1 month, and they are giving me pressure. They're giving me pressure there. And anytime that I went there, I always fight with them because I want them to leave me alone. Because if they cannot leave me alone, then I will do them something too. Because me too, I'm a fighter.
Are you still in the Flüchtlingsheim?
Sorry?
You're still in the Heim?
No, I'm not in the Heim. I just go there to go and look for my post. But Women International is looking me somewhere to stay in Berlin. I just went there sometime to go and look for my post. So I just want to say thank you for the Women International because they are already helping me they are already doing a good job. So I just want
Thank
to say
you.
thank you, because deportation is not something that is very good for a woman. If you're a woman, you went to deportation 2 times, you come back. It's not easy. It's not good. It's very brutal. And the police they are very brutal. I don't respect police, and I don't afraid for them anything, because we have to fight in our rights, because the police, they are very, very brutal. They are brutal. The way I saw them in the road, I don't afraid for them, because I will tell them that you can remove those things and put down and come, let's fight in our hands. We have to fight in our hand, leave those things, and you people come one by one. A small woman like me with a small body like me, how can they be treating me like this? It was not easy for me, but I tried. I tried my best. So I would like to encourage all the women. I thank you.
We have here another question in Farsi.
No question.
Maybe you come here. Do you hinter there?
Just one more question in Farsi. I want to speak in the Gari language. Is that possible? I'm an Afghan woman. I come from Magdeburg. I want to speak about women in general, and then I want to say something about Masture. Masture, I agree with what you have said. You are a brave woman. Nevertheless, I have one plea to you. We are all alone. We, however, can support each other. As a representative of the refugees, and I'm part of the activists of Convoy, we are in Magdeburg, and we came to this conference with a big interest. And I'm very happy that an Afghan spoke at this conference, and you spoke very bravely. I want to answer the woman who said that Afghans themselves are responsible for the fact that men are forcing their own women to wear a scarf or a burqa. Now, the country in Afghanistan, or the Afghan blood, so to speak, seems to have no value in the world. Through the political actions, or the political actions influence our country. We are living in a world that produces weapons and exports them. And for that world requires wars. Therefore, we've been having a war in Afghanistan for many, many years. Therefore, I have a plea to the activists here in Germany. Please try to understand how the Afghan women are feeling, all refugees who are here or who are in Turkey or in Greece. Women who have been abused sexually, women who live in Afghanistan who have been killed due to various reasons, and also the rape that is committed against Afghan women. 18-month-old baby was raped, or a woman who was stoned to death in a small village in Afghanistan, or another woman who lived near the headquarters of the president was put on fire. Can you just hear the story and try to have some compassion? In many villages, in many provinces, a lot is happening there. The Taliban is forcing the population to fight against the state. The Taliban is raping its own women and its own population. Now, if these women are forced to seek protection from the state and yet again get raped again, can you understand how painful that is? Let me just extend your contribution. This is not only happening in Afghanistan. In Africa, we see so much rape. We see so much displacement from Boko Haram, from other warriors. These weapons produced here are being exported everywhere. And we should not forget that these terrorists, that the people who are crazy and very not only corrupt but also very greedy and power greedy, not only in Greece or Turkey or in Afghanistan, but in particular in African countries. I agree with you, but I just want to say something to the women who are here and have one plea. Let's show solidarity among each other. Show solidarity to each other because we don't want to feel alone. I really thank the women who have given us the opportunity to come together. Thank you very much to the organizers for this conference. I'll speak in Arabic. I'll pose my question in Arabic. Thank you very much. I thank all the women who are here today. It was absolutely brave that you spoke here today. I really hope that after this conference that we publish some kind of result to raise awareness among the German government and show the German government that women from everywhere, from Eritrea, from Somalia, from Sudan, that these women coming from dictatorships such as Iran or other Arab countries such as Saudi Arabia, these women are suffering under the phenomena of what we called forced marriage. In addition, many women in Africa are being mutilated. Their genitals are being mutilated, and that again is it's a form of repression. When these women come to Germany, they don't only want to become politically involved. They don't only want to stay here. They are being oppressed in their countries. They're not coming to Germany due to political reasons. They're coming to Germany because they are being discriminated against based on the fact that they are women and are badly treated. And I really hope that the German government takes that into consideration, that women can apply for asylum due to other reasons. Women from Afghanistan, for example, should not be deported back to Afghanistan because women there are in a very particular, dangerously situation. I really hope that as a result or an outcome of this conference, women who are in difficult social conditions and situations, that the women are seeking asylum due to that, due to their social circumstances, and not only due to their political circumstances and because of a war. I really hope that the German government recognizes these women as humans and that they have the right to come here and stay here. I have one question and also a desire or wish. Coming here together and talk to one another and to listen to one another, this is a very important step. It's good to understand each other. Solidarity without listening to one another cannot be true solidarity. Therefore, I have a proposal. I know that this conference has cost a lot of money. The wish has been for many years to hold a conference like that, but I have a proposal. Those among us who are not in an insecure situation, please, let's try to collect money for a conference next year. So let's try to collect money to fund a second conference. So this is really a suggestion from my side. So all those who are funding this or deciding to donate, I really applaud you. I have a question. At that current state that you are, what do we want from us, or how can we show our solidarity to you? How can we extend our solidarity to you? In order not to speak just for kitchen and cooking, what is it that you need and what is it that we can do for you? Okay, Jacqueline. So basically, what can we do to help all of us together? Jacqueline, maybe you want to answer this question. Well, what do I want? I want the organizers to organize a similar conference. This will allow us to understand a lot. If we only stay among ourselves, then we only have a very limited perspective. However, if we come together, then we can even broaden our horizon and understand things better. I really want you guys to continue helping us and that we accept your support. This is my wish, really. Well, my wish is for women to organize more together and that we hold a big women's demonstration in various cities in Germany. For example, on one day having different organizations and then having a big demonstration. We can maybe all go to the airport and have a big demonstration there, or have another demonstration going to the government and show the government that women are strong. Masura, what about you? My wish is that regardless where women are, everywhere where they are, that they show solidarity, that they express their voices and fight for their own rights. It's not that this is a given right, because if women don't move and do things, then this right won't be just given to them. I want to quote Brecht. If you fight, there will be defeats. However, if you don't fight at all, you've already lost. So women have to fight for their own rights. Yeah, thank you very much to all participants, and we say goodbye for now. And Denise is saying, don't go yet. Yeah.
Well, first, super. Thank you very much for being here. It was an amazing panel, the third and last panel, and I think everybody is very motivated to come tomorrow. But before you all go, just would like us to say thank you to the interpreters. Thank you to the technic group. Thank you to the film team. To the food, to the marvelous food.